A striking image today at St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle. Queen Elizabeth II sitting alone, her head bowed, and as her husband, her life partner of 73 years, was laid to rest. It was just one of the many ways the coronavirus pandemic made a visible impact on the funeral for the Duke of Edinburgh, yet the ceremony was still fit for a prince. It included personal touches like the Land Rover that carried his coffin, music he chose himself, and we even caught a glimpse of how his death could begin the healing process in the midst of a family rift involving two of his grandsons, Prince William and Prince Harry. Let's go now to Windsor Castle, where CNN royal correspondent Max Foster has been watching today's events. Max, you've covered the royal family for so long. What stood out to you today?
Well, I think it was a very poignant tribute to Prince Philip, who wanted something just like this. And you mentioned the COVID restrictions there. It really did add an added poignancy to a lot of the imagery you got today, with the Queen sitting on her own, with the choir in the nave completely on their own, just 4 people allowed into that choir. And you talk about reconciliation as well. So much has been said about the breakdown, the rift in Harry and William's generation of that family, and we started seeing some healing there as well. So I think if Prince Philip was looking down on how events unfolded today, he'd be quite pleased.
His kindness, humour and humanity, by his service to the nation and the Commonwealth, which thy well-beloved Son shall then pronounce.
So we were seeing there the casket being lowered into the royal vault there under the chapel, and Prince Philip's body will lie there until the Queen dies, and then they'll be buried together in a side chapel. So the love story isn't over. Very poignant as well. I'm probably overusing that word, but poignancy is something that really struck me today, to see William and Harry leaving the chapel, talking to each other, imagery that we're used to seeing in the past, but because of the breakdown and the rift between them, we haven't seen in such a long time. And it's really important for those two to come together, if not professionally, then personally, for the family to heal many of the problems they've had in recent times. So that was a big moment. A lot of focus here in the UK on Harry and William reconciling.
Absolutely, and a very moving scene there. Thank you so much, Max Foster, for bringing that to us. We appreciate it. And joining me now with very unique royal perspective on all of this is Patrick Jeffson, who served as Princess Diana's Chief of Staff and Personal Secretary. He's also a consultant for the Netflix show The Crown and author of the book The Meghan Factor. Patrick, you've had a unique perspective on all of this. You worked with the royal family for many years. You've met Prince Philip. What are your thoughts on today's service? We saw Max Foster's report there just a few moments ago. You do get the sense that perhaps this funeral, this very somber occasion, is bringing this family together.
Jim, yes, and happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
It was very good listening to Max, because he apologized for using the word poignant too often. Actually, I don't think you could use it enough today. Any of us who had the chance to watch the funeral, even part of it, there was a real sense of it being a historic day. Just the dignity, what I heard described as the powerful intimacy of the service. And in a sense, we have to thank COVID for making it so powerful. We're used to seeing these big pomp and circumstance royal set-piece occasions. One thinks of Princess Diana's funeral, for example. This couldn't have been more different, and yet in its own way, it was extremely powerful, very effective, and very appropriate for the man who, in everything I discovered when I was working with him and his office, he was practical. he was, you might call today, he was results oriented. He didn't stand for unnecessary words. He believed in getting down to it. He believed in finding quick solutions to difficult problems. And that, in a sense, made him something of a relic, I suppose, because whether we like it or not, his passing means that now only his widow, Queen Elizabeth, remains of that greatest generation in anything like that position of national importance. And long may she reign, and she does appear to be in good health and certainly in charge. Just yesterday, she was sending messages of condolence to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who have suffered a catastrophic volcano. So the message from her is quite clear: business as usual. But not even she can stop the passage of time. And inevitably now, once today, which is Prince Philip's Day, is over, attention will start to turn to the future.
And Patrick, almost 24 years ago, the world watched Prince William and Prince Harry walk behind their mother's coffin. And now all eyes are turning to them again during this funeral for their grandfather. After the service, we saw them walking shoulder to shoulder and chatting. There is the image of them so many years ago. And you put that up against what we saw earlier today. They've had a remarkable life together as brothers. What do you make of what we saw earlier today, seeing William and Harry together?
Well, it certainly reminds us that although the world's cameras were there today, this was essentially a family occasion. And as most of us know, funerals can be an opportunity for healing family divisions. They can also be a source of deepening those divisions. So, right. Yes, let's be optimistic that the exchanges we saw between the brothers as they left the chapel, let's hope that that's a sign of a thaw in relations. But there's a long way to go, and unfortunately, the world's attention is on their relationship, even though neither of them is going to be the next king. William will be the next king but one. That's some distance in the future, most likely, and Harry, by his own choice, is now pursuing his own path on the other side of the world, and it is very hard to see.
Yeah, Patrick, I was going to ask you, what does the future of the royal family look like to you? I mean, this is a big question moving forward now.
Yes, because as things stand, the next succession of monarchs are going to be old, probably bald men. The Queen, when she came to the throne, was glamorous young 25-year-old. There is a whole new generation who certainly can't remember World War II, can't even remember the Cold War. And they are looking for a different kind of monarchy, not one that's necessarily lost touch with its past traditions, but which is more responsive, more in tune with their view of the world, and in a sense, one to which they can feel a similar degree of loyalty to that which Prince Philip's generation has to this Queen and her husband.